Oof. Odd gets named, and boy, oh boy, does that wreck us good. I am glad to be here, and I am glad that you are here. Today's jank is in Brawl, and of course, we are looking to take advantage of Jolrael, Mwonvuli, Recluse. The main game plan is going to be on the aggressive side, but really we're looking to be a mid-range style, or a mid-range deck for sure. The Jolrael, for those who are unfamiliar, is whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 green cat creature token, and then the activated ability is 6 mana. Until the end of turn, creatures you control have base power and toughness XX, where X is the number of cards in your hand, right? So, we are looking to take advantage of this by having a number of cards that draw us cards. So, Tome of Legends, drawing cards. Mazemind Tome, drawing cards. The, let's see, Kenrith's Transformation, one of our few removal spells, also drawing cards. The, technically, I mean, the Garruk's Harbinger gives us card advantage, helping us to fill our hand, but does not actually draw us cards. But we do have Garruk's Uprising and Colossal Majesty that also draw cards, as does Solemn on Death, Elder Gargaroth on attacks and blocks. Return of the Wildspeaker is one of the modes you can choose. But then also, we have, of course, the Great Henge, and oh, there we go. Yeah, Llanowar Visionary. So lots of ways of actually drawing a card, actually triggering Jolrael, and we're really looking forward to it. Okay, almost forgot. Also the Bonders Enclave, very, very important. In the land base, being able to draw cards, very good. So we're really looking to try and take advantage of all of these things to get ahead in the card advantage game against other mid-range style decks. There aren't a lot of aggro style decks in the format, but we would have a pretty good game against them, right? You know, not too many Torbran style things, but that is pretty much the one if you see it. That being said, I do think we've got a solid shot because of what we have on the top end here. Gigantosauruses, Vivians, Elder Gargaroths, and the Return of the Wildspeaker, if we go wide enough, of course, its other mode, Beyond the Draw cards, is +3/+3 to creatures we control. Instant speed opponent, or folks, the opponents won't be able to see it coming, right? The old overrun style effects, 3/3 and trample, sorceries, normally, right? The fact that this is instant, we might be able to attack with, whatever, 4 cats. And our opponent's like, I mean, I don't want to take 8 damage, but okay. And suddenly they're not taking 8 damage, right? They're taking 20 damage, right? Just out of nowhere. And that really can end the game really quickly. So we're looking to give it a try, and how's it going to do? I don't know. Let's find out together, shall we? It looks like we're going to keep this hand. I think it's, it curves out really well. It's a little awkward, I guess, on the specific cards we have in hand. They are powerful, no question. But of course, Garruk's Harbinger, not as good when the Hexproof from black is irrelevant, right? And then our card advantage engine's very, very powerful, but I'm not sure how well it's going to match up against what our opponent's trying to accomplish. All right, you got it. Fine. All right. This is all right. Let's just get in, have a little bit of a race with our opponent, See if they want to race with a Garruk's Harbinger on the battlefield. Of course, this doesn't have any kind of evasion. Just when it deals damage, we get to go and find creatures or Garruks. I don't believe we have any Garruks in the main, so just creatures. But of course, our opponent doesn't know that. Oof, Primal Might. Annoying. Sure. Well, come on, opponent. Get in here. We will take it down to 16. Fair enough. Oop. Darn it, folks. I was definitely trying to grab that there land. That's all right. We're going to go ahead and get in for all of the damages we can. Opponent going to block one of them. Drops to 15, and we pass. Our opponent, carefully considering their hand. Not quite sure what their plan is, because we've seen. All right, sure. All right. Hey, that's a good one. Well, then we're definitely just going to Great Henge. Cast a Shadow Spear, activate a Swarm Shambler, pass the turn. The Great Henge, a very, very powerful magic card here. No, we do not want to be attacking into that Rada. It is only first strike on the opponent's turn. Oh my goodness, yeah, opponent scooping them up. Ladies and gentlemen, they recognize competing with the Great Henge's card advantage. Very, very difficult. I also get the impression they intended to be maybe a little more aggressive, and their draw just wound up being a little weird. You know, the Crashing Drawbridge, trying to give haste and stuff, trying to swing out of nowhere. Probably with some larger mid-rangey style threats. And so they were both not managing to be very aggressive, but also not hitting their land drops, and that is kind of a recipe for disaster. So GG, opponent, GG. It was an honor. All right, folks, here we are up against Jada Ace. Good luck, Jada Ace. We are on the draw, so I don't think keeping a 2-lander is too bad, especially considering we get to draw another card as long as we hit a single land. And then this should hopefully be drawing us additional cards as the game goes along and everything. You know, I think this is okay. Famous last words, right? Oh, thank heavens. Okay. All right, so we did draw the Bonders Enclave. Very, very good. We're not getting off to a real aggressive start, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Jada Ace being quite deliberate there. Gets down Confounding Conundrum. All right. We will match that with Jolrael, Mwonvuli Recluse. We do have a Gem Raiser, should, you know, we decide that is a good idea. Interesting. Ruin Crab, eh? I wonder what's going on over there. These are not cards I was expecting out of our opponent's Chu Lane deck, you know? But alright. Llanowar Visionary, going to draw us a card. Trigger Jolrael, Mwonvuli Recluse. Get us another 2/2. Draws into another land. Very good news. There will be no attacks this turn. Opponent going to create a food token with Gilded Goose. Fair enough. Opponent, Ruin Crabs, mills over 3 straight lands. Holy cow, folks. I can tell you for certain I didn't want to draw 3 straight lands. A land or 2 wouldn't hurt for sure, but, you know, 3 straight, probably not a recipe for success. Opponent goes with a Renata, Called to the Hunt. All right. Trying to think this through, folks. And I'm thinking, maybe we're just better off with Vivian here. There's a whole bunch of different directions this could have gone. But for now, I think this is fine. With the Questing Beast, it really would have been tempting to get in there. But I don't think we're going to be able to just beat our opponent down with a Questing Beast. We're not that far ahead on tempo. As a matter of fact, we might be a little bit behind on tempo. when you consider that, yeah, they're likely to advance their board with Chulane, they in fact do the thing. We don't really have a way of pressuring Chulane, and don't have any way of interacting with Chulane. It comes down with a counter because of Renata, and yeah, I mean, you know, it's not like, it's not the end of the world, but it's certainly not good news, for sure. So we're gonna make a land drop. All right, let's just go ahead and go with Reach, I guess. And attack. Yep. Let's see what our opponent has to say. Throws Renata in front of the 2-2, Chulane in front of the 3-3. It appears as though our opponent has forgotten about our ability on Jolrael. And boy, oh boy, do they pay a price this turn. It was a steep one, folks. It was a steep, steep price. Giving up two very powerful threats. Oh boy, Return of the Wildspeaker being on top. That's a very strong card. Oh no, Dryad of the Elysian Grove means that very strong card likely to go away. Oh boy, it doesn't. Holy cow, that is great. So let's Vigilance. Go ahead and attack. Our opponent in a bit of a spot here, I think. Yeah, indeed, Jada Ace. Opponent in a bit of a spot. They got behind. They got behind last turn, right? I think it was a mistake to block with Renata and Chulane in the way that they did. But now that they're in this spot, we have 7 cards in hand. We're attacking with 4 7/7s. Yeah, okay, they can take 2 of them, but that means 2 of them also have to be chump blocked, right? So, okay, they block with the Ruined Crab and the Gilded Goose, let's just say. They still drop down to 5 in that instance. With only 2 cards in hand, they're not close to being able to cast their commander again. Yeah, I think this game pretty much over, and our opponent recognizes that. Good game, Jada Ace. Good game. Good luck, Kamikaze. I think this is fine. We're going to hang on to this hand. I do believe we're going to start on a forest so that we can Swarm Shambler. We're going to expect to draw into more lands, but if we end up having to take a turn off with a tapped land, it's not the end of the world. So I think that's okay. Deadweight going to get us a 1/1, sure. I think we're actually quite happy about that, all things considered. That is 1 less removal spell going to be pointed at Jolrael. Would not be surprised at all to see more of that sort of thing, right? Our opponent, anytime you play Karavek the Spiteful, it is a bit of a spiteful situation, I would think. All right. Well, let's do that, because they would just strip it out of our hand if we didn't. We currently have no Elspeth's Nightmares targets. They're Duress Effect targets. So they get to have a look. Not exciting, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and Wildborn Preserver. Oof. All right. That is really annoying. Yeah, all right. Let's just Wildborn Preserver, I guess. Get down the Yorvo. Grow our Wildborn Preserver. Get in for 4. Drop our opponent to 20. Lose our graveyard. And see what our opponent has in store for us next. It's a land. And a Karavek? Garruk does just kill a 1/1 right now, but it's not a great play on the current board. It is. Garruk. All right. An entirely reasonable thing to do. All right, so we're actually... I think we're actually just going to Gilded Goose here. It grows our Yorvo out of Garruk range. And it does let us put 4 1/1 counters on the Wildborn Preserver. And more importantly, let us get in for 10. Not a trample. But getting in for 10 is a pretty good place for us to be, I think. Kamikaze on the back foot a little bit, but they do have 4 cards in hand. We have just the 1 in Elder Gargaroth. Garruk the Spiteful. On board for our opponent. Their deck likely entirely built around the idea that they don't need their creatures to be large. Other creatures get -1/-1. Does include your own creatures, of course. And our opponent's deck build, certainly reflecting that. Okay, they removed 3 1/1 counters from our Wildborn Preserver. That is why we were trying to get counters on it as quickly as possible, of course. All right, opponent shrinks it far enough to give us a hard time. Yeah, let's just do this now. It does grow our Yorvo. Get on in there, friend. All right. Kamikaze drops to 5. Oof. Odd gets named, and boy, oh boy, does that wreck us good. All right. So let's go with 7 mana. Llanowar Visionary going to come on down, going to draw us a card, make another 1/1, as it were. Opponent on 5 life, that's not a great place to be, but darn it, they've got 3 cards in hand, and we only have 1. Eternal Thirst. Coming on down. Opponent looking to profit from our creatures dying. Can they make that happen now? All right. As expected, the opponent does have a way of killing our creature, so if we had double blocked here, we had the opportunity to kill it if it stayed at 2 toughness, but of course we weren't expecting it to stay at 2 toughness, and in fact it did not stay at 2 toughness, right? So... Alright, fine. Let's Mwonvuli Recluse again. And mutate onto the 1/1. Over, of course. Destroy that Eternal Thirst. And... yeah, I guess we can get in. Drop our opponent down to 4. We're not really concerned about our life total here, but our opponent ought to be concerned somewhat with their life total, right? Yeah, as expected. Alright, Nylea. Gonna make an appearance. Actually, no, we need to wait, because if we do get a card to the hand, we're not likely to be able to cast it, so let's just hold off. Notably, this is not drawing cards, so the Jolrael not going to be triggered here. Just says, reveal the top card. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, we can put it into the graveyard. So we do want to activate this, but now is not the time. With Nylea not, you know, being able to bring Nylea online and attack, very pivotal to our game plan here if we're going to be able to bring home the win. It's likely going to involve that here shortly. Not guaranteed, but likely. And if our opponent does have a way of making us discard, darn it, you know, we We don't want to draw the card into our hand. And oh. All right. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That does lose devotion there. All right. We'll take one. Our opponent goes up to 5. We will activate Nylea. Keen-eyed, and it's a Scavenging Ooze. Oh boy, folks. Yeah. This very well may end the game now. Yeah. We're going to give this one reach again, just in case. But yeah, Call Me Kazi says that is good enough and scoops it up. Our opponent, very, very close to stabilizing there. What it appears their deck did not come through for them on was a means of card advantage. They had the one Extinction event, which we were in real good shape until this Extinction event came in and just really hammered us. And that was a good chunk of card advantage all at once, but it wasn't quite enough. We still had cards in hand, right? So they needed to come up with some other way of drawing cards, or, you know, maybe more sweeping action or something, right? And their deck just did not provide. Unfortunate for them, to be certain, but didn't quite get there. And now they recognize that next turn, this turn, we're going to be swinging with Nylea and the Llanowar Visionary, and that's lethal. So they've got to block something. Okay, they can take the free block on the Llanowar Visionary, but drop to 1, right? That's not any way to live. And if they didn't, you know, if they did chump, they're losing their commander, and yeah, everything's bad. Everything's bad for them. I don't blame them for getting out of that game. Good game, opponent. All right, folks, and we're back. Let's talk about what this deck did today. Honestly, I think it performed pretty well. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Sometimes I'll build a deck and it's so bad I'm just like, oh my goodness, I've got to make some changes to this deck or something midway through, because we're just getting curb stomped game after game. And I do think we lost more games than we won by, I don't know, 1 or 2 matches, maybe. But I also think a number of those were kind of dumb luck style things. Just the way the format plays out is another factor. Sometimes your opponent can just run away with tempo. And we were really hoping to do some of that on our own. I will admit the tempo package did not go as well as hoped. So that could be a place of potential improvement for this deck, is should we get more tempo in some fashion? Maybe that's some more 1-drops. It could just be having a couple more 4-drops so we curve into our late game a little better. I could easily see that. As far as cards we might cut to make that happen, I don't know. The Shadow Spear did not end up doing anything in any of the games, even the losses. We didn't draw any cards at all off of our Warden of the Woods, which is kind of why it's here. Then let's see. We didn't face any black decks, so the Garruk's Harbinger didn't really do much. It wasn't relevant in the matchups where we faced black. I don't know. That said, I do think it performed admirably, and I think this is a very defensible deck to build. So I had a lot of fun playing it, and you know, let me know how you feel about it. What did you see in the games? What were you thinking about the way the deck came together? I don't really know. So on that note, let's just say you have strong feelings one way or another. You can come and talk to me face to face, or as much as we can do these days in quarantine, on my Twitch stream. Darn it, folks, I stream 5 nights a week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm streaming 4 hours a night. That's a lot of Magic the Gathering, folks. And I'd love for you to stop out and tell me how you feel about it. That said, if there are changes for this deck specifically, sometimes folks watch these videos and actually build these decks. So put your comments down below. You might be able to help save somebody if you're just like, oh my goodness, what is he doing decking that Solemn Simulacrum or something? let me know down below. If you're going to say stuff like that, defend your comments. Don't just tell me I'm an idiot. Back it up. Tell me why, and we can have some discussion on that fact and hopefully sort out how to build this deck a little better. But tonight, the day that this video goes live, I will be playing this deck on stream. So if you think it's, you know, bad enough, but it's tweakable, say down below. If it's really bad, you can come and at least watch me get creamed on the stream. So come on over at Twitch TV or twitch.tv/johnlikesgames, and I will be playing this deck this evening. That said, I really appreciate it. You know, if you do all the liking and subscribing and stuff, that really helps the channel. I really appreciate it. So that said, I will catch you all next time.